nopCommerce, which is a digital and web agency based in Athens. I'm a certified nopCommerce developer and a certified contact pigeon consultant. I will explain shortly what contact pigeon is, so bear with me for a moment. First of all, can you hear me well? Okay, excellent. Before I move on to the actual presentation, I want to go through what I'm going to present to you, the various stages of the presentation. I'm going to give a brief introduction to nopCommerce's web agency, contact pigeon agency, and then I'm going to move to the main part of my presentation, which is about personalized email marketing automation, and go through with you the 10 best practices regarding personalized email marketing. And my final part of my presentation will be about how you can integrate nopCommerce solutions with the contact pigeon platform in order to see your revenue from sales increase through email marketing. As I said earlier, we are a digital and web agency based in Athens. We have a 5-year solid experience in creating nopCommerce solutions, extending themes, creating themes, developing custom plugins from scratch. All our e-shops are based in the wonderful nopCommerce shopping cart. Contact Pigeon is another agency that is also based in Athens, and they have created this analytics platform, and this platform that helps store owners deliver perfectly timed personalized email messages to their customers. Basically creating email campaigns that are personalized for each customer or for each visitor, depending on their behavior while browsing their e-shops. So basically, we have a partnership. A couple of years ago, they came to our premises and they gave us a presentation, and we were very impressed with them. They have an excellent product, and we at nopCommerce believe in synergies. You know, we have a very rapidly evolving e-commerce ecosystem, and we think that this is the best way to go forward is by creating synergies and collaborations. On the one hand, you know, we can deliver a very elegant, a very stylish, a very functional shop, and our customers are very pleased up to that point. But then, obviously, comes the question of what I'm going to do with my shop now. I'm going to increase my revenue. I'm going to attract customers. So we'll have always to think about the next step, which is how to help our customers increase their sales and their revenue. Obviously, we do, as a digital marketing agency, we do a lot of SEO, search engine optimization, which helps customers to get our customers to get revenue from organic results. We also do social media marketing and Google AdWords. But we have seen, after using the contact pigeon platform, that email marketing and personalized email marketing and all those automation techniques I'm going to demonstrate in this presentation help a lot. The conversion rates and the ROI, the return on investment, by investing on personalized email marketing is much higher than all those previous digital marketing efforts that I mentioned. First of all, what is a personalized trigger email marketing? Basically, instead of sending massive email campaigns to all your customer base or your customer subscription list, you can send automatically and finely tuned email messages to them according to their behavior and according to their profile and according to their preferences. And those personalized email messages generate up to 6 times higher revenue than the non-personalized email messages that most of the store owners use. So basically, we keep track of what everyone is doing while browsing on our e-commerce solution, and then we send them the right email at the right time. So obviously the reason for using this kind of platform and this kind of personalized email marketing techniques is to improve the revenue. at a very low budget. The first thing is we attract more visitors. We can convert the new visitors to customers, inform our customers about new products and services, and engage returning customers in order for them to make new purchases and new buys from our e-shop. And that all leads to a significant increase on sales with a very low budget, as I mentioned earlier. When we walk away from this presentation, I mean, the thing that sums up the whole presentation and the whole Contact Pigeon platform is that you can enable store owners or e-market e-commerce managers to send the right email to the right person at the perfect time. There are many scenarios that I'm going to go through with you, and then you can see how you can send the right email depending on the actual scenario that you have in mind. The main thing is to keep our customers engaged at all times. Have they visited a particular product category 3 or more times? You can send them a personalized email to them. Have they visited a particular product more than 4 times? Then you can send an email to them with the products they have used. You can also help your customers re-engage with the shop by sending them discount coupons if they haven't visited the shop, for example, for maybe 1 month or 2 weeks and stuff like that. All these scenarios I'm going to talk in detail later on. Moving on to the next slide, I'm going to talk a little bit about the evolution. As you can see, in the beginning we had basically huge batches of emails sent to our customer base, non-personalized email messages with just one big offer, 20% off for all our products in the next 5 days. So that kind of email is not working well, irritates customers, and a lot of people unsubscribe from the e-shop's newsletter subscribing list. So that's a very early technique. A lot of people use it. Obviously, you can use it with Contact Pigeon, but it's not recommended. Then marketers, email marketers, shop owners started to do some sort of segmentation. They started segmenting their customers depending on gender, age, stuff like that. Then we moved on to the dynamic content marketing, which basically offers some sort of personalization and a connection with our customers on one-to-one basis. But still, this is not good enough. And the next step is through these analytics platforms. Actually, Contact Pigeon, besides giving you the possibility to send personalized emails to your customers, it can help you generate a lot of analytics data that you can use, and you can base your business decisions on this kind of data. So basically, you have all the data for each customer for their entire behavior since they first visited your e-shop. So you can use this data to make all sorts of decisions, business decisions, marketing decisions. And finally, the last stage of evolution is the agile email marketing, which basically offers real-time email personalization depending on a single action of each customer on your e-commerce solution. So Contact Pigeon covers all the stages. Obviously, we're going to focus on the stage 4 and 5, as you can see in this diagram. Okay, moving on to the main part now of my presentation. I'm going to talk about 10 best practices or 10 best email marketing scenarios that you can use to re-engage or attract visitors and convert them to customers. Okay. So basically, we have those 10 big opportunities to automate. Obviously, there are many more than those, but we have used those scenarios with our clients, and they are very happy, and they have seen their revenue increase significantly. We can have a welcome and onboarding personalized email message. after our customers register. We can also have the browse abandonment email marketing templates and scenarios. The very well-known cart abandonment scenario is also supported by Contact Video. You can also send recommendations based on past purchases of each customer. Another scenario that works really well is the product review request. Someone has purchased the product from you and you send them a kind, very stylish email message asking them to give a product review and offer something back in return. Maybe you offer them a discount coupon for their next purchase, or maybe add them to specific best customers or most popular customers list. You could have the happy birthday email templates, which you can use in order to send a happy birthday message to your customers with an incentive to come back and make more purchases with a discount coupon, obviously. Then we have another scenario, which is the replenishment and reminder. You could use this scenario when somebody has bought a product from you. Imagine you have any shop that sells cosmetic products or skincare products. Maybe a lady has purchased this particular cream. You know that this cream is about, it lasts about 30 or 40 days if you use it daily. So before the expiration of 30 or 40 days, you could send them a reminder like, thanks a lot for purchasing this product, and we are offering you a 10% or 20% discount to get a new bottle of this skincare. That works a lot because on the other end, the client thinks that someone remembers the first purchase and they think that somebody spends time for them in order to satisfy their needs, and they feel very loved and appreciated. And actually this scenario works really, really well. The other opportunity you have to automate is the cross-sell, upsell. So basically somebody purchases a product and then you offer a discount if the same person buys twice the quantity of the product, or another product, or a bigger product, or a larger or a bigger amount of quantity for that particular product. Another scenario that works really well, that's why I highlighted those that are highlighted with the blue background, are actually working really, really well based on our past experience. You have the purchase anniversary. Somebody has bought something today, 21st of October 2016, and on 19th of October 2017, or 2 days before, they have the 1 year anniversary after making the first purchase in their shop, in your shop. You can send them a kind reminder in order to, to buy something new. And another scenario, the last scenario I'm going to talk about, is the re-engagement. Basically, this is the "we miss you" scenario. Somebody, for some reason, hasn't been visiting your shop, or has been an inactive user, an inactive customer, has been a dormant customer. So you kindly remind them that you miss them, and you offer them an incentive to come back to your shop and buy something. This also works quite well. Okay, before I explain more in detail all those scenarios that I just mentioned, I want you to remember that in each scenario, in all of those marketing scenarios that I've just mentioned, you should keep in mind these very important factors or steps. First of all, you have to know why you're doing each scenario, when to do it, how many messages are you going to send. Someone has left 3 items in your e-shop's cart. He hasn't checked out them, let's say, for 3 days. How many messages are you going to send? Are you going to send 3 messages, 5 messages, 10 messages? When are you going to send them? 3 days after they have abandoned the cart, or 3 hours after they have abandoned the cart and haven't completed the purchase? So timing is very, very important. Of course, in all those scenarios, you have to think about incentives, something to give to your customers to lure them back to your e-shop. Design, style, and personalization are critical factors for your email campaigns to be more successful. In all our clients, when we use those scenarios, we have always a web designer involved, so he can create a very nice template, and we always think about what we're going to write inside the template. That is a very critical factor. So when you implement those scenarios, you always have to think about those critical factors. When, how many messages, what types of incentives you're going to give out to your customers, and all that has to do with the styling and the design of the particular newsletter email template that will be sent out to them. Okay. The welcome onboarding marketing scenario. This is not just a thank you message or a thank you email that automatically is generated, let's say by the nopCommerce platform. When somebody is registered, you can send him thank you for registering to our e-shop. I'm not talking about that. Obviously, you can do that. That's not the problem. But I'm talking about something more sophisticated here. And basically, I'm talking about a series of emails that could be triggered after someone registers with your shop. I repeat again, these emails in this platform is used for generating emails based or triggered by some action that the customer is performing on the website. As always, when I refer to this kind of scenarios, I'm going to talk about the best practices. So we have the welcome and onboarding scenario. Why we do that? Because we see that a lot of people register with an e-shop and then they become inactive or dormant, or they don't visit straight away the website or the shop. Okay? So basically, we send immediately one email, and then because we know that the customer hasn't been active or hasn't been visiting the shop, we send him another series of emails. Okay? So a very good practice would be to send immediately the welcome onboarding email upon registration, and then at least 2 emails to follow based on the data that you collect from each customer. You can have an abundance of data per customer through the analytics section in the Contact Pigeon platform. I'm going to demonstrate toward the end of the presentation the back office or the environment that you have available when you purchase a Contact Pigeon subscription. So this is a very good scenario. It works quite well, and basically it helps customers to get to know you better and have some sort of trust at your brand. Moving on to the next scenario, we have the browse abandonment. I'm pretty sure that most of you are familiar with the e-commerce funnel. We have our email sent, they are delivered, the customer opens them, clicks them. There are direct links to some product categories or to our actual products. They browse to the product page, they sit a little bit while there, they view the product, and then they close the browser or they browse away from our shop. So basically there is a huge amount of people, a huge percentage of people who click away after they have been to one of our product pages. So they don't continue by adding the product to the cart or doing a checkout. So we have this kind of problem. Actually, here I have a screenshot from Amazon, and I don't know. Can you see everything on the screen? Basically, this scenario is like this. Somebody visits a category, product category, and then they browse away. Obviously, you can track this event, and that's what Contact Pigeon is all about. It tracks all the events generated by each customer. So you know that that customer has been to one category and stayed there for 10 seconds and then left. So you have this data available to you. So you know that this customer has already been segmented to a list that says customer who have browsed away from a particular category straight away. So you can send to those customers, you have the actual email list, and you can send them a personalized, very stylish, very functional newsletter email to them, offering them direct links to other categories or to relevant categories or to products and stuff like that. Obviously, you don't send just one email. You send the first email based on the behavior that I've just explained, and then you send more emails depending on their action to the first email. Have they been back to the site? Have they bought something? If they haven't, you send another email a couple of days later, giving more recommendation, giving maybe a better incentive for them to buy something, maybe a coupon or a discount or something like that. A very good practice is to send the first email 4 hours after the abandonment. Okay? In this particular example, someone has been to the Amazon website, he has been to the digital media streaming devices category, obviously he hasn't bought something, or he browsed away, or he had abandoned the category. So after the tracking that I just mentioned, triggered emails were sent to him with direct links to product, bestsellers, recommendations, stuff like that. Obviously, you don't have just category abandonment, you have product abandonment as well. On the left of the screen, you can see a very stylish email template sent to a particular customer. Always pay a lot of attention to design. Design is very important, even when we're talking about newsletters. A very best practice is to send the first email after 3 hours of product abandonment. So somebody browses to the product page, leaves the product page, and then after 3 hours you send the first email by offering directly to that particular product or products from the same category or related products and stuff like that. And the philosophy here is the same as in the previous examples. You follow up with another personalized email message if the customer didn't react or didn't revisit your shop to buy something new. Okay? So we're talking about abandonment, two main types of abandonment, category abandonment and product abandonment. And you could use all the data generated from the platform to send out these personalized email messages. Moving on to the next and very well known or most famous marketing scenario. Obviously, as you people are familiar with the nopCommerce ecosystem and plugin ecosystem, you know that there are established nopCommerce partners that have developed plugins like those. So there are plugins that can help you track cart abandonment and send email messages to your clients. Here I'm talking about something similar to that, but with more details and more information and maybe more flexibility than the plugins offer, which most of them are really great at generating income for the store owners by reminding their customers that have forgotten to check out stuff in their cart. There is a huge percentage of people that they leave items in their shopping carts. And why they do that is because maybe they didn't want to buy something, they were not ready to buy something, they just wanted to see something, leave it in the cart and then decide later, or they thought that the shipping charges were too high, or the product cost was too high, or because they wanted to leave it on the cart so they can compare it with the same product from another shop. Okay? So there are various reasons why someone leaves something in their cart and maybe never checks out that particular item or items. As I said earlier, the things to consider in every marketing scenario is the why, the when, how many messages, what types of incentives you must use, and all things related to style and design of that particular email template. One very good practice here in this marketing scenario is to send at least 2 or 3 reminders. The first one should be within the first couple of hours. So basically I leave something on my card, then a couple of hours later I receive a kind reminder that I've left an item in my cart. The first time it's not necessary to add a coupon to your newsletter email, but maybe in the second or third time, if someone hasn't acted on your first email, you can send them an incentive or a discount coupon or something like that. That works quite well, and it's highly recommended that you implement this type of scenario. There is bestbuy.com, it's a very big brand, and they also use this scenario. And this is a very good email template, and they have styled it very nicely, and they have the proper words in order to describe this scenario. And they say at the top, we have noticed you have left something in your cart, it's ready for checkout. Then you reassure them that your prices are really competitive. You can send them products from the same category or products from this category that have also been purchased by different customers, or your best sellers with some reviews, so you can build the trust. So that's a very good template of some company that actually implements cart abandonment really well. Another thing to keep in mind is that we shouldn't send tons of emails to our customers and irritate them, or think that if you send a huge amount of emails, you're gonna increase the revenue. As you can see in this slide, you could send, for example, 1,000 emails. 3 of those could be abandoned cart emails, and you could have like almost 20% of the revenue could come from those emails, compared to the massive non-personalized promotion emails that you send to your customer base. So personalized email messages generate much more revenue. And at the same time, you don't send millions of emails to your customers. Another scenario, moving on to the next scenario, is the recommendation emails. Basically, you keep track of all your customers and their purchases, and then, based on that history, you send them an email recommending related products, products from the same category, best sellers, and all types of products that you might want to add in that particular scenario. A good practice here is, if you are not sure of what you are going to add in this scenario, is to add maybe your best sellers. And it's very easy to find your best seller products from the dashboard of nopCommerce. Here I have an example again from Amazon. It says Amazon recommends. Someone has purchased some sort of digital equipment, and I'm quoting here Amazon in their template. We hope you have been enjoying your recent purchase and thought you might like to see a few accessories that will help you make the most of it. So basically they have related products that go with that recent purchase of that particular customer. Moving on to the next marketing scenario, product review request. You kindly ask your customers to write a review based on their recent purchase. Obviously, you send it after the purchase, and by doing that, you achieve 2 goals. First of all, you re-engage the current customer that made the purchase, and secondly, you make them generate content for you, and obviously, you have most likely positive reviews, So you help future customers, future visitors to build trust at your brand and possibly buy something from your shop. Again, the timing is very important. It depends on the industry, it depends on the product. So probably you let a few days or a few weeks before sending the product review request, so that the customer had the chance to use the product and be able to write a review. Obviously, you can give something back to those who are reviewing your product. You can add them to a list. You can send them a discount coupon after they have successfully submitted their reviews and stuff like that. And again, there's a series of emails. You don't just send one email. You wait to see the reaction to the first email, and then again the reaction to the second email and stuff like that. And finally, obviously, you send them a thank you message. Okay? This is a very nice product review request email. As you can see, the design plays a pivotal role in that process. This DSW.com website sells shoes mostly for women, and they have asked their customer to review that particular purchase. Again, reviews, especially positive reviews, besides generating content, which is great for your CEO efforts, help future customers to buy without any reluctance from your e-shop. The very easy and widely used happy birthday personalization email message. Obviously, everybody wants to receive a gift for their birthdays, and that works quite well. It's not a very difficult scenario to implement. Obviously, again, as I said earlier, we always have to think about the when. Maybe you don't have to do it on the same day. Maybe you have to do it 1 week ahead. So you send the email 1 week ahead, so they have time to see it and maybe make the purchase and get their product before their birthday or on the same day of their birthday or something like that. So if you know that your item can be shipped within 3 to 5 days, maybe you send it like 10 days before. So the person that has his birthday in 10 days can see your email, can review it and make a purchase, and then you have plenty of time to send it or send it over before their birthday. And it goes without saying that in this kind of scenarios, you always have to send some sort of discount coupon. The way you get the birthdays is very easy. Or maybe you ask them nicely if you don't have such a big, sophisticated registration form, or if you have a registration form that it's mandatory for them to add their birthday. You get their birthday from the registration process. Moving on to marketing scenario number 7. This really works well. I mentioned this scenario briefly earlier. A customer buys a particular product. That product expires after a month or a couple of months. And you kindly remind them that your product is about to finish, and then we're offering a 10% discount. Buy the same product or product from the same category at a discounted price. When you do that a few days before you think that the product will run out. A very good example is the contact lenses. A lot of people buy the contact lenses online, and you can know those people that are in this kind of market. They have shops that sell contact lenses, know the expiration date of this thing, so they know it only lasts for a couple of months or 2 months or 1 month, so they can send this kind of reminder just a few days before the product runs out. From my experience and using this scenario in our clients, this is probably the one scenario from the all that I have mentioned or I'm going to mention that works the best. It's really amazing because it generates a feeling from the client's point of view that someone is looking after them and know their needs, and it's really someone is really interested in them. Okay. Of course, you could have a different scenario here. For example, you have a bookshop, an online store that sells books, and you know that this customer has bought, for example, all the books from Dan Brown, and maybe the new book is published in a couple of days or in a couple of weeks, and you send them another email notifying them that your favorite author is about to publish another book. This scenario works really well, as I said, and generates enough revenue for our customers. The next scenario is the cross-sell, upsell scenario. For those that they are nopCommerce developers or they have nopCommerce stores, they know that this kind of functionality up to a point is supported out of the box by nopCommerce. So you could have related products, or you could have cross-up and upsell products in your nopCommerce solution. But here I'm talking purely from an email marketing perspective, and you can use this type of scenario in order to cross-sell a product depending on a previous purchase from a particular customer. So when is the best time to do that? Somebody buys something and you come with a recommendation a few days after that, or maybe a few weeks, depending again on the product or the industry. Okay? So basically, we all know what cross-sell is and what upsell is. Maybe you offer them a big discount if they buy 3 or 4 items of that particular product, or if they buy a related product that is used together with their first purchase. Again, you don't generate just one email, you don't just send one email. You send a series of emails depending on their behavior. Everything they do is tracked. If they buy a particular product, you know it through the analytics platform. When you send them an email, you know how they react to that email. Have they clicked it? Have they opened it? Have they done something? Depending again on that scenario, you send another email, or you send a thank you email if they have made the cross-sell or upsell purchase. Okay? So basically everything is tracked down. You have all the history at your disposal, so you can make really good decisions based on that information. Another scenario that works quite well is the purchase anniversary, which basically means a 6-month period or 1 year period after the first purchase that a particular customer made through your e-commerce solution. Definitely in this kind of marketing scenario, you give a discount. Again, style and design is of vital significance. Always involve a professional in the design of those type of emails, and think a lot of what you write. I mean, if you see in that particular slide, the people of that particular brand, they say, celebrate another year of savings. You see, they put a lot of thought of what they're going to write in that email. And as you can see, the style is really, and the design is really professional. You can think of this as a happy birthday email, and always try to be creative. You can obviously use in that email 6 products from the same category, related products to the product that he bought 1 year ago, bestsellers, or combined with another cross-sell or upsell purchase and recommendation. So this scenario works really well. You usually send it on the day of the anniversary or the day before the anniversary. So again, as you can see, different scenarios, different approach of what to send, when to send it, and how many mails to send. Okay? The final email marketing scenario I'm going to mention is the re-engagement. Obviously, there are a lot of customers who buy something and don't visit back for some time. Maybe it's a month, it's a week, it's a year. It's up to you to send them a personalized email message, letting them know that you miss them. In this particular scenario, it's almost mandatory to send a discount coupon. This is another excellent email template from this particular brand that it's very, very well designed and stylish email that says to their dormant, inactive customers, we missed you. You haven't been back for a while, and we are thinking about you, and we want to give you this promo code. Please be back. You are a valuable customer, and all things like that. So you can use this scenario to activate all these dormant, inactive customers, and this scenario works really well because, as I said, humans feel very good when somebody tells them that they miss them, that they like them, that they want to offer something at a discount price. So it works really well, and it's also one of the most successful marketing scenarios that we have used with Contact Pigeon. As I said, through this platform you can segment your customers, you can have all their emails, you can see the emails in the different segmentation lists, you can get analytics and data for all their moves, purchases and actions while they are active with your e-commerce solution, and you can act on this information. This is just another example of an excellent and well-designed newsletter email to a particular dormant, inactive customer. Starting with re-engagement messages, then offering a discount, and then offering a direct link to the product or to a particular category. Again, you should use all the statistics, all the data that you have available in the platform, and create a lot of marketing scenarios, not just those that I've mentioned, but many more. Test them, see which of those work well. I mean, this is like a repetitive process. You cannot do 20 scenarios and all work perfectly at the beginning. You try some, you realize what mistakes you did, maybe you hire a professional or a consultant on this platform, and then you revisit the way you plan those emails. I mean, it's the same thing when you do a Google AdWords campaign. You do a campaign, then it doesn't work so well, then you refine this campaign and you refine this campaign until it has the results that you're looking for. So basically, testing is very important, and gathering data from the platform and studying those data is also very important. Okay, so a question in everybody's mind could be, okay, how I'm going to use this platform? In order to make the integration as seamless as possible, we have created a free nopCommerce plugin. I mean, nopServices have created this plugin, which provides effortless integration with the Contact Pigeon platform. So, first step, you go to our website, I think, yes, and you buy that plugin. It's very easy, of course, you just check out. Or you can go to the official nopCommerce site. I have the direct link here. Obviously, you need to log in first, register first, and then you can go to this particular page and you can download the plugin. At the moment, it's available only for 3.8 nopCommerce version, but very soon, within next week, we will have it for the previous version up to 3.5. I'm sure most of you know how to install a plugin. It's very easy, but there are also instructions within the plugin. So basically, it takes a couple of minutes to install and configure the plugin. After you do that, you go to this page, register. You fill in your first name, your last name, your email, and your company website, and you can get a discount or start a free trial. Okay? So first thing is you go to our website or nopCommerce extension theme area, you download the plugin, then you come here, you register. The contact pigeon people will come back to you through email and send you back the details that you need in order to make the complete integration. So the third step would be to come back to your website. I have installed an out-of-the-box 3.8 nopCommerce solution in this URL. And you basically come, you install the plugin, actually you have already installed the plugin, and you go to your widgets section. You've already been here, you have already filled in these details. You got your email back from Contact Pigeon. They're very good, they usually get back to you within the day. And then here you just configure. They give you an account name, fill it in here, they give you an API key, and then you click save. And that's it, it's integrated. So it's very easy to integrate. And then from that point onwards, you just need to learn how to use the platform and to use their marketing scenarios. Okay, let me show you the environment that we are going to see after registering and integrating your nopCommerce solution with the Contact Pigeon environment. So this is one of our customers. I'm going to show you very quickly the shop. He's one of our best customers and he's selling things for babies, for women that are pregnant or young moms and stuff like that. And he's using Contact Pigeon for a couple of years now. And this is the back office that is available to him when the integration process has been completed. So he can go here and see his campaigns. He can see automatic campaigns. He can see e-commerce related data about recent cards. It takes a little bit to load all this data because, as you can see, he has thousands of visitors, and all these visitors, with each click, they generate a lot of data. So he can set up his contact lists. He can set up his segmentation lists. He can see what types of customers per day have abandoned cards, who are non-visitors, who are dormant visitors, and he can set up his automatic campaigns from this environment. So basically, after the integration, the only thing you have to do is basically set up all the scenario from this environment, and then basically monitor its personalized email campaign and see what kind of benefits you have from this type of marketing actions. And yes, I mean, if you want, you can catch me outside in the networking area and I can show you this environment with more details. And I think that brings me to the end of my presentation. I'm happy to get any questions from you. And are there any questions? Yes.
Can you just explain a little bit more how the widget works? It's just pulling information from nopCommerce, but you don't use the input anymore in nopCommerce?
No, you don't use the message templates at all.
It replaces it.
Yeah, no, you're talking about the newsletter templates, right? That nopCommerce has. You don't use those at all. Obviously, you have the automated message for if your order has been shipped or has been sent. You use those, the message templates definitely, but you don't use the newsletter functionality of nopCommerce at all. As I said, the process is really easy. Download the plugin, install the plugin, go to the Contact Pigeon website, register your details, get back those details that you need from their email, enter them in, fill them in the widget area, and then the integration is complete. They give you credentials in order to log into their platform, and obviously you need some sort of guidance and experience, and maybe a consultant, to help you set up all these campaigns. And these are some scenarios that are supported. You can support an unlimited amount of scenarios. Those are the ones that we use with our clients, and they generate a very good income for them, and at a very low budget. Again, I mean, if you do a very successful Google AdWords campaign and you have 5% conversion, this is an excellent result. And people think that you are, and actually you are an excellent AdWords person. But with this marketing email, you can generate maybe you can have conversion up to 40 or 50%, because email generates a lot of income, because people, and with the personalization, they think that somebody took the time out to concentrate on their needs and on them, which is really important for humans, because people feel very flattered and very good about that. So we don't use at all the newsletter functionality from the nopCommerce environment, and you solely use the contact page platform. So after the integration, you have nothing to do with the nopCommerce anymore, and this is a standalone platform that you can use basically to generate these scenarios, or to create new scenarios that I didn't have the time or the opportunity to mention here. And yes, you can, for example, you can fill in all your product list inside here, and you can see how many purchases per product for all your marketing scenarios. So if this particular product, for example, has been involved in 5 or 6 of the scenarios that I've mentioned, you can see how many times it was purchased. So one thing that yes, 2 minutes. It has a lot of data. It's not just about creating a very stylish, well-designed email. You can use this analytics data to make your decision. Because, for example, I mean, if you can see that this product has been, I don't know, purchased 100 times, and this has been purchased 3 times, obviously you can create an email marketing, send all your customer base with this, or you can have this as in your home page. So yes, we do all that stuff, and we study all this data. The first thing is to study all this data, and then you make clever decision based on that data. So that brings me to the end of the presentation. Thank you very much for attending, and you can ask me anything you want in the networking area. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy it.